fighting for a spot near the top of the European leaderboards. What's Flakes in today? He's got the skyline today.
Ooh,
We'll see how
fancy.
he does with that.
And I love the movement that Flakes has started. Everything about this player and the way he dribbles the ball, the way he approaches the game is very methodical, and he tries to just outsmart his opponents instead of out-mechanic them, which is great. So seeing him on all these different cars and trying to prove a point here has always been so fun as the season has gone forward. And I think for Barcelona, if I'm really watching them, I'm paying attention to Ronicky out of everybody. I think his challenges are really what sets up a lot of this Barca roster moving forward.
Of course, you're hoping Devo has a strong defensive week. Again, of course, because he was an absolute brick wall earlier in the season. And there's one save. Watch out, here they come. Ronicky. There's a solid challenge to give a chance, but Devo actually just elects to deny the boost, and Flakes is caught a little too far forward. Magnus. Double hop over one. Remco keeping the pressure on for TSM as Ronicky and Flakes looking to combine their powers here in the midfield and work their way out of their own half. Remco there to pick up the slack. He's got just Devo to deal with. He's got the flip reset, and he got bumped off the ball. Devo caught a piece of Remco and took away a scoring chance.
What we're going to see so much from TSM is Remco being aggressive, sitting at nearly 71% goal participation for his team. Always a player for TSM that is going to be getting involved, aggressive, always on the offense. And for the shots, we just saw another one there from Remco off the crossbar. Barca's lucky to get away with that.
It was a beautiful pass and shot. Crossbar had other thoughts. Flakes, awkward dribble, bumped off the ball as well, and here comes TSM. Devo with command on the backboard. Metza just trying to keep the ball stuck on this side. Remco needs help from Magnus, and oh my goodness, if he hit that, that would have been pretty.
Magnus, that flip reset off the backboard for a double touch. So far, TSM, look at these mechanics. I think this is the best we've seen so far in quite a while.
Magnus is out for blood today. He's got the Brunhilde topper, the skull decal, the Swedish flag. He's a Raider today. And right now, Barca definitely being pushed onto their own half. Finally, a nice dribble from Ronicky out of their own side, and we'll see if that manifests into any type of offense. Ronicky sticks the ball on this TSM half. Miss from Remco means Magnus has to find a pinch here, hopefully, and it goes straight up. Tough break. Here comes Flakes. We find the second touch. Just able to get the ball over him is Metzanaris. Remco, Ronicky, excuse me, uncontested. Devo to himself. Click forward. Remco will buy time, and TSM just trying to get their rotation sorted out on their own half as Flakes running interference. Slow game one. Compared to the back and forth, that was mouse sports and endpoint, but it's exactly what you come to expect when you watch a TSM series. It's going to be hard work to get goals for and against, and especially with
TSM series. I mean, sorry to cut you off. Go on.
Go for it. You're good.
I mean, I was just saying, TSM, I get flashbacks when you mention anything about, low-scoring games issues. It kind of scares me a little bit.
As Magnus, great bit of shooting to get around that ball. TSM not done. Metza to Remco, dropped into the middle. Devo able to close the gap. Ronicky with the continuation touch. Magnus now under pressure off the crossbar. Here comes Flakes. Bouncer of a shot, and he will score. Flakes applying the pressure, and Magnus can't recover.
Magnus, I mean, he's in the backfield trying to get a better save. If he just picked a different corner, I think, to toss that ball out, it would have been so much better if he just kind of hit it to the right side. But he had a different angle and a difficult one at that to force it out into any position. Just getting the save was his first priority, but you got to think a little bit more ahead as the pressure finally makes TSM break from that unstoppable defensive play style that we were talking about earlier, Chiefs.
And TSM definitely going for some great passing plays. I mean, normally, they're tough to break down and score against, but here they've really been going for the great crosses on the pitch and some good vision from them to find those passing lanes and get themselves shooting chances. Unfortunately, Their best ones have all gone off the crossbar or been stopped. Devo with, again, another solid defensive game with 4 saves. Flake's now in charge. Metza bumped off. Here comes Magnus looking for the lower left-hand side, and they'll equalize with 20 seconds.
Look at the accuracy from this shot. First of all, Metza, you got to applaud him for his speed, but then Magnus, the one spot he could hit it, and you can see Ronicky, he played that well. Ronicky in net, he was facing the right way, he was far post, waiting, facing the other post, so he could rotate out, but the positioning on that shot was just too good to stop. And now Magnus again going for another flip reset. He's on fire, feeling himself right now.
Ooh, Devo with space, though. That's able to make a nice read on the ball. Flakes just to knock it down, but they're not done yet. TSM looking to make one final push. Devo rotating out of the goal. Magnus with command. Does he go for something crazy? Devo just slaps him into the ground, and we will go to overtime. Kickoff will slightly favor TSM if they can get this pass, and it's too far away, and Flakes will make the save. Time into the middle for TSM. Now it's Remco from the opposite end of the pitch, going for the big block, and Ronicky will make sure to sneak that ball around him. And TSM really doing a fantastic job boxing in Barca for a lot of this game. I mean, it's what? Yeah. 6-9, 12 shots to 6 in favor of TSM.
I mean, it really just feels like TSM have really just activated the mute button on a lot of Barca right now to get out of their half, and a big portion of that has been due to these challenges in midfield. Metza with a big miss there, a little bit uncharacteristic, which is the first time we've seen it. And now, you know, we can start to see a double commit, but it goes their way, and there's still possession and pressure coming out from TSM that we haven't seen before. Shot after shot here.
Oh, going for that change-up of a shot. Ronicky was able to make the block. He's got Devo in the middle, stretching, and into the right-hand side. Devo with a pre-jump, and Ronicky on the money pass.
And you hate to see it after all the pressure from TSM. You get pre-jumped on by Devo and Ronicky with a fantastic play. They held out to the end. They knew that, you know, some of those shots weren't the most aggressive. They weren't the best, kind of pulling a Sonics style, really, in this series here, as they hold out on defense, you know, transition it forward, and then that's how they can get their shooting opportunities. So Barca, a great performance from them as they managed to hold on. And I thought this was, again, something that TSM have done all season long, where they look great at the beginning of the season, or the game, the beginning of the series rather, and then things just start to fall apart.
And that double savior medal from Devo again, not willing to give up any type of save, it seems, as he continues to put up the numbers. And you know what? I'm curious. Hang on. Since I'm at home and I can do this, I'm just gonna open up Liquipedia, and we're just gonna take a look at who's currently in the running for for savior of the season, because it has to be Devo at one, right? You feel like it's gotta be.
He has to be up there at this point. Who?
Scrubcula, 2.39 coming into the week, but obviously that will take a hit.
Mans isn't even playing today. He's not even playing today, and he's still at the top. That's how it is. But Devo, I mean, he's been more passive, I think, this season, ever since even the rival series, as he's come out of there. I think Devo has taken a more passive play style on the field. He used to be that striker, the guy who pretty much invented, you know, the legendary double tap off the backboard, even in RLCS Season 3. So to see him kind of find that play style who's a little bit more passive is great to see.
He has definitely been a big defensive force, as Flakes has actually swapped cars again. What's he on? He's got the zippy.
Oh, that's a classic.
It is a classic. Back to Sarp, and he has a chance to score, but denied. Unfortunately, TSM not willing to give up much ground. Flakes off the ceiling. That's missing the double tap, and he pulls Devo out early, actually. It's a real awkward scenario here as Ronicky punches it off his own corner. Magnus, he's in the gizmo. He swapped cars as well. Everyone having a good time here. And really, it's been some tough defense from both teams, as Metza looking for the flick into the top right-hand corner. No support here. Magnus deems it too risky. In fact, it was a good choice, as he's able to tap that ball back to his own corner.
TSM repeating what they did last game. They've got some solid aggression, some great midfield challenges, but then it's the transition game that just bites them. In the end here, as we can see, more shots getting opened up, opportunities left and right for Barca as they transition this ball out of the defense. And it comes down to just responding to that pressure, making sure that TSM aren't getting quality shots on net. And if they're not finding those, then, you know, you really don't have to panic. You can let them take those shots because they're just going to give you possession.
Flakes looking to try and get that out of his half, but Magnus playing so aggressive, getting right in his face and going for a lot of demos on the goal line. And Remco, not much help from TSM, and will elect to try and just find the block in the midfield. Devo uncontested as Metza pulls off. He's got Ronicky towards the goal. Magnus is able to tip it up. Here comes Devo to put it right back into the mix. Flakes is saying that one's not worth it and will pull out in the midfield. Let TSM try and bring them the ball. Devo again, another stop. Ronicky, not the cleanest catch in his own corner, means TSM gets to circle around one more time. Magnus, great pass off the sidewall. Is anyone there for it? It's a free ball for Flakes, and Metza gets bumped off. Remco has to make the adjustment, and just able to make it in time. TSM almost falling victim, getting bumped from a person you didn't even see. Barca looking to see if they can replicate what TSM did last game and box them in. Here's a great pass to Devo. Got way too far under it, though, and skied it. Flakes with a fake.
What a fake.
And the cut left, and did he get the boost steal? He definitely pushed Magnus off the ball. This is a tough spot. Devo's forced to go high, though, and actually Magnus got the bump on Flakes and took away a wonderful follow-up chance, and TSM will work their way out.
That bump was so crucial on Flakes, who had opened up that space, and then the pass came out. The only thing that was left was that finishing shot. And as that third man rotating back onto defense, Magnus needed to get some kind of contact to disrupt that play. Instead of getting the ball, he just takes out Flakes. And so far, it's been a really even game. We're seeing more pressure than ever, though, from Barca, as Flakes has been more grounded, making great decisions. You can see him. Flakes never really decides to just go in the air. He stays down, and he sets up Devo. Pay attention to Flakes here as he just stays down, make sure he can win that 50-50. So calculated from him.
And the full court air dribble from Ronicky sets up a nice challenge from Flakes.
Yeah.
And Devo with the speed out of the midfield to finish the job. Real nice transition play from Barca to get the first goal. And now you wonder, does TSM have it in them? Find the equalizer.
I mean, Barca, I think they're just such a fun team to watch, mainly because you can really distinct all these players individually as who they are. Not only do you have Flakes always on the crazy cars, but it's just the way each one of these guys play. Ronicky, aggressive challenges. Flakes, he's so grounded. Then Devo, the defensive stop, always on the goal line, making saves. They're just a really fun team to watch, and watching them and their play styles kind of unfold as the season has gone forward, it's just been a great thing to watch.
TSM definitely trying to throw a wrench into that. Remco, nice pass into the middle for Magnus, lays it up for Metza, left-hand side, and TSM will find the equalizer. Takes them about 30-40 seconds, but a nice 1-2-3 play here.
Devo in that corner, he kind of backed off, decided to go for the passive rotation out onto the backboard. Instead, he could have gone for that challenge and maybe forced a little bit of some uncomfortability on the offensive side of TSM. Instead, he backs off, like I said, and then just waits for the shot. But he gave way too much space up, and that's where the shot came out.
Oh, nice bump from Metza. Remco will maybe be able to get this ball to Magnus. The clean whiff will indeed open the goal, and that is called tying up a defender. You're expecting one thing, and you get something totally different.
And lots of confusion here in the corners. The big fake from Remco. Not sure if it was too calculated, but either way, as long as you get an opportunity from it, Magnus, a great shot from the gizmo. It's still weird seeing these cars in RLCS, Cheese. I'm not used to it.
It's been a long time since Gizmo made an appearance in the RLCS. But it has resurfaced here and looks to get a win in game 2. Ronicky, another full court air dribble, trying to lay it into the left-hand side. Flakes goes straight out to Devo, and Remco able to get eyes on the passing lane. There's a great bump from Flakes. pulls up Metza. Devo able to stay with it. Popped into the middle. Ranaki off the crossbar. Flakes follows up.
Ranaki?
Metza got bumped and he can still make the save. TSM hold on by a thread.
What was that defense? The bump was there. Their shot was on target, and they still managed to find a last-second save. I was for sure, once I saw that bump, I was thinking to myself, this is 100% going to be a clutch goal for Barca that we just saw even last weekend in their series, and still, they managed to hold on.
Real nice job from TSM, despite how scrappy it was right at the goal line, but they get the job done. Unfortunately, Ranaki, the air dribble was close, the follow-up shot was close, but the crossbar did him in at the end, and a hero save by TSM at the last second to keep Barca from equalizing. Real nice job, and they do just enough to get the job done. Metza and Magnus combine to get both goals, Remco with 1 assist, and Magnus having a pretty solid series himself, almost hitting the 600-point mark.
Yeah, and a lot of those goals that TSM got did stem from the corners, which I think is something that Barca could definitely improve on their defensive side. It's not only just reading those corner plays, but also knowing where the ball is going to bounce out. Because even on that situation where Devo rotated back for that first TSM goal, you could see he didn't really know where the ball was going to go after it hit that corner, so he decided to take the safe route. So I think if they can get a little bit better reads in the corners, you might be able to patch up that defense and then hold out a little bit longer against TSM.
And Magnus also switching cars every game, it seems. He's now on the Merc. I was curious if he would stay.
Switching it up.
Everyone swapping around, and Flakes. He's really putting me to the to the Rocket League encyclopedia test. He swapped cars again. I believe he's
the
on
young
Takumi now. Yeah.
That's right.
We'll see what happens.
It's been great to see Flakes test all of our knowledge on these cars, because we're so used to just seeing, Octane Dominus, maybe a Batmobile here and there. But Flakes really making us work for it.
Ooh, Ranaki not able to find the proper placement off of a beautiful pass into the middle. Now it's Remco on transition. Magnus with some space to work with. Not the cleanest catch. Forced to try and stick that ball to the sidewall, and unfortunately he got bumped, so it stopped him from actually finishing what turned out to be a pretty solid dribble. Pushed up the field. Devo takes it away in the midfield at the midfield line. Metza for Remco. It's not quite open, and Devo somehow got a piece of that ball. Flakes coming out of the corner, going to make a clear, and TSM not done yet. Flakes back pass. Devo gets
the bump.
Free shot because of the bumps from Ranaki, and unfortunately a small window opened up, but slammed shut in fairly short order.
My goodness, TSM are doing a great job. A big miss there on the backboard. Remco follows it up after the defensive stops. You can see Devo, he couldn't read off that corner and then just whiffs it on the backfield.
Space given from Barca in game 2 allowed TSM to work out on some errors, and here they capitalize on a missed clear. TSM, they actually have looked pretty good in terms of setting up a lot of good goal-scoring chances, but if you think about the goals they've actually scored, they've all been mistakes as Devo makes a great stop.
And TSM, even on the defensive side, I think they've done a great job of always having somebody behind you. That shadow defense really playing and coming out in handy, because they're not double committing nearly as much, which means that when a bump does actually occur on your own teammates, you're there to back them up if they're not in position to get the save. So they have a lot of security in terms of how they're defending themselves. And positioning like that. Metza waiting for the save.
Big pinch from Devo from the side wall, and Remco actually sets one up for Ranaki. Goes to the back post, and Magnus able to cover the gap. Tough saves again, and you're absolutely right. Stingy defense from TSM here in game 3. Remco towards the left side. Ranaki with a long clear. Metza able to get a piece of it in the midfield line. Flakes towards the backboard. Magnus already there. Ranaki actually going to have to back up a little bit. Caught a couple steps too far forward. Devo to Flakes. Another fake dribble. Delayed flick. Devo won't have many options for where to put this ball, and he's just going to be in charge of trying to hang on to it for a bit. Actually, TSM kind of fall apart a little bit, and they're actually quite fortunate nobody from Barca was really there ready on transition. Metza wants the double tap, bouncing touch, and He actually tipped it out with the nose. Flakes cuts
Metsa,
left.
yeah.
Ronicky goes too far to the right side, and TSM escape a counterattack.
Now we got a battle of just clear after clear, counterattack after counterattack. Both these teams doing a great job of finding the clear forward, seeing a teammate, seeking him out with that initial touch, and we've got a really fast-paced game here.
Flakes, top of the box. Magnus out to meet it. Metsa, hard off the side. Ronicky down for Flakes and taken away by Remco. Magnus waiting patiently on the goal line for a shot. It's actually going to be a pass, and he still gets a piece of it. The vision from TSM coming out of the net has been so good. Devo wants a double tap, and Remco is able to get in front of that one. A wonderful read.
How long will these saves last, Cheese? I can't believe TSM are still managing to hold on. The opportunities from Barca have been there. The passing on point, the shooting has been decent.
And Magnus with a great read there, recognizing that ball was going to bounce harmlessly off the post. Devo again off his backboard. Flakes with the couple of continuation touches, able to jam it into the TSM corner. Ronicky off the ceiling. Magnus will take that out to his side wall, and he will be free of harassment at the midfield. And finally, Flakes comes out of the net to come and meet him. 30 seconds left. Barca needing something. And that's a nice fake from Flakes. Devo comes up empty. He's got Ronicky all the way across the pitch, and Metsa understanding where it's headed. Now it's Flakes in the one-on-one. Magnus tries to fake him out. Flakes just says, yeah, no. He fakes right back, and he's on the dribble. Flick across. Ronicky cut away by Magnus, and defense from TSM really has been outstanding, understanding exactly what Barca are trying to do with the ball here, but the final 10 seconds ticking down. Remco with a chance to put it away will roll off the nose. And Ronicky, last chance, launched up the pitch. Magnus already there. Barca unlikely to be successful. One for the road, kicked off the post, and that actually might allow Barca one more shot at it. And finally, Remco will come slap it into the ground. 2-1 in the series for TSM off of a fantastic defensive showing.
I don't think you can ask for better defense right now out of TSM. I mean, the thing that makes them so special right now in holding the series has really been their ability to read where the passes are going. They're positioning themselves close to where, or if not in the middle of all these passing lanes from Barca. They see a player, they see where Barca's trying to go with the ball, and then they feed themselves into the middle of that so they can intercept it. And they're doing the same thing for shots. If they can't intercept the pass, they're going to get in front of the shooter who's going to end up receiving the ball instead of the guy who's actually dribbling. And that's what's helped TSM to stay so strong on defense.
That's a tough thing to do as well. I mean, to constantly keep tabs on everybody on the pitch and understand where the passes are headed and when they will be intercepted by the offense, because it's very easy to just dive at something that's over your shoulder and have nobody be there, and you just make a poor touch and you get capitalized on. So credit where it must be given. TSM really did do an excellent job of keeping tabs on where all of Barca was and shutting down a lot of the great opportunities that they tried to put on goal. So Barca trying to mix things up, work a little magic, and unfortunately, TSM, they got good eyes, and they will move into Game 4 with the lead.
I mean, I think that's the name of the game right now for Barca, is mix things up. If you see a pass opening up and it's a little bit too predictable, maybe go for those solo plays. Tell Flakes to go for a little bit more dribbles on the offensive side, feed into the corner, use the backboard a bit more instead of going for those midfield passes. Let's see if they can switch it up here, because they're on match point right now against TSM, and Barca, they've got to win this to keep their hopes of top 2 alive.
Flakes, of course, swapping cars again to the Masamune. And Magnus has gone back to the good old Octane. We'll see if TSM has it in him.
Not the Octane. See, I was enjoying the fact that Magnus was switching up. Maybe that's what TSM needed.
Just some novelty of their own.
That's right. That's all it takes.
And that's a nice challenge from Metsa. Flakes able to stick the ball on top of him. Ronicky, does he go for the backboard self-pass? Yes, he does. It's uncontested, but it kicks straight down, and Remco will just dribble it into his corner. And that's honestly not a bad idea from Ronicky there. If they give you the backboard, try and take it. Unfortunately, just got a little too much on it. Minute passed in Game 4 already. Remco. Clean takeaway by Devo. Flakes uncontested. You were talking
Nice
about
dribble.
Flake's particular play style, very grounded player, trying to dig the ball out of the corner, and finally Metza able to come through and take the ball off his nose.
Yeah.
Devo
And
trying to sneak that around the outside. Go for it.
Love it to see though with Flakes. I think with those dribbles, I think really what it does, it not only wastes time for your teammates to get boosts, but it also, you know, he can beat out a defender or two here and there and clear the ball and still manage to keep possession after he goes forward. So big ups to Flakes if he can keep that up this series, and so far he's winning there in the challenge game as well on defense. Let's see if they can hold up.
Magnus, awkward shot angle, and Devo just waited on the goal line for it to come his way. Dismounts from the sidewall, able to actually win the subsequent challenge. Magnus finally slips it by him. Ronicky all the way across to the other side, and Flakes trying to delay on his own half. Booming clear from Barca as TSM try and get a hold on the ball. Barca giving ground. Remco in support of Metza, with Magnus way back on their own half. Finally going to start edging up, and actually too far. It's over his head, and Ronicky unfortunately taken away by Metza, who's also having a great defensive series. Everybody on TSM cutting
More
things off.
shadow
left and right.
defense. That's what I'm talking about. Always having somebody behind you to have that security for TSM, and right now it's working wonderfully against Barca, who seems to just have one shot only. They can't keep the pressure forward. So if you've got somebody to bail you out in the backfield, then you're set.
Metza. Kind of a softball for Devo into the middle. Devo really not able to get the power necessary into the middle. Metza with a big miss. Ronicky just tries to go straight for the goal, and easy save for Remco. Devo trying to size up the ball in the midfield. He's got Ronicky behind him. Little too far forward, and Flakes now in the one-on-one versus Magnus. Has to play it backwards. Remco in support. Big miss from both teams, and Remco wants the demo. Ronicky having to dodge oncoming metal. He'll still be able to make the stop as Devo will rally on the backboard. TSM not done yet, though. Long clear from Ronicky. Magnus there to intercept. Remco really trying to stretch it. Bounces flat. Here comes Metza. Kicked high off the bar. Ronicky with a miss. Devo also misses. Magnus trying to weave through traffic. And unfortunately, their one goal scoring chance just kicked off the bar.
And their one opportunity, I love the touchdown with that pass earlier from TSM to open up the chance. And now we've got a lot of panic defense as Barca are getting pressed. Metza controls it. He's got the 1v1. Almost gets it.
Real nice job from Ronicky. Close the gap there. Flakes off the mark, and Magnus still right with him. Devo in command on the corner. Out into the middle. He's got Ronicky. Remco almost not able to get a piece of it. Had to jump and turn backwards. Pass off to Flakes. And Magnus there to sniff it out. 30 seconds left. Overtime looming. Remco letting Devo tip the ball his way. Metza actually gives ground here and finally decides now's the time to go. Devo with a bomb of a clear. Remco off the backboard. He's got Metza over there. It's actually going to make it too. But the missed touches mean TSM going to be slow on transition. Should be no problem for Barca to cut this off. Final 5 seconds. Do they let it fall or do they try and force something?
There's a chance.
Last chance TSM, and no, everyone will just let it fall. Overtime looming. TSM 1 goal away from closing out with a win.
We're still seeing that defensive playstyle standpoint right now from TSM, where they're on the backfield, save after save, focusing on those corner plays. And now, as they go forward, I'm seeing they're getting a lot more dribbles. There's an opportunity. We've seen it where there's holes on the defense for Barca, where TSM might be able to squeak out a shot in. They just can't find the finishing hit.
Magnus towards the backboard. Devo already there. Flakes gonna wait patiently in the goal. Ronicky in behind him. Devo now trying to get in position. He actually kind of cuts rotation here, and he actually makes a wonderful play on the ball. It's a scamper back for Magnus, and he will make it in time, recognizing he had Devo beat to that all the way. Ronicky just going to leave the ball here for Magnus, not try and make a poor touch. Would rather have the advantage of momentum and the ability to make a clean approach on the ball. Devo into the middle. Flakes. Bit of a weak shot, but Roniki's there to follow up, and he misses.
1v1.
And that was able to sneak in. Magnus will be turned aside. Remco once more towards the backboard, but that was it for Roniki. I mean, to be fair, not a very big window to work with. And he was trying to nail it into that right-hand side, just got a little too far.
You can see he was going for the placement. And notice TSM, as they're carrying this ball out of the defense, they're transitioning. I think they're keeping it a lot closer to their cars right now. Make sure they keep possession. Always have a follow-up touch. And this could be what could actually lead to a goal. We've seen opportunities on both sides right now. It is literally just coming down to shooting and the placement of that shot.
Ooh, Flakes, another dribble. A little fake on Magnus, and he will slide it into the right-hand side. Barca are going to force game 5 and keep their hopes of a top 2 finish alive.
Flakes the most comfortable on the ground. You have to challenge him early, because if you don't, he's got too much space to work with. He's too lethal on the offensive side. When that ball is attached to his car, there's no stopping him. He gets the solid 50, and you can see he even was patient with it, waited to wrap around the ball so he could force that ball into the back of the net. Flakes, more dribbles coming out from him as TSM look to go into game 5. Now, I thought that TSM would have found that shot. They had solid defense again. It felt like a repeat of last game. It just was the shooting.
2 game 5 series in a row. This one more of a defensive showcase than the offensive one that Endpoint versus Mouse was, but still just as exciting. And you really have no idea what's in store for game 5. Magnus, 5 saves, only 1 shot. Remco, 4 saves, 2 shots. Metza playing great midfield defense, and it's just TSM having to work every minute as Barca really take command back there in game 4 and really put the screws to them in terms of the shot differential and the pressure.
And I'm a little bit hesitant now going into game 5, because I thought that if TSM were going to win the series, it was that overtime, in my opinion. I think that Barca now might be a little bit too hot to stop, because, you know, TSM, they had the opportunity. That was their chance now. You've given Barca more momentum as they go into game 5. Flakes, this is it.
On the grog.
Now we need to see. No, is he really on the grog? Are we seeing all these switch-ups, and now we've got the grog? This is how we're going to go into game 5?
Yeah, baby. Let's do it.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And Flakes. I mean, he's been nothing if not consistent, day in, day out, as he makes a nice save here with the grog. It's the grog and cockroach. That's the real disrespect.
Yeah. Can't forget about the top. That's the most important part of it all. As we get 50s in front of the net, and then now the shot, it's still wide. TSM, they've had chances. It's been in front of the net. They can't capitalize.
TSM feels a lot like game 1 in the series, where they held all the pressure and unfortunately still ended up losing. Definitely a reminiscent start of that. Ball into the middle. Metza off the bar. Roniki 1-on-1. Actually 1-on-2. Remco's going to make it back in time. A little bit of hopscotch from Roniki. Trying to pull out a defender, but TSM too smart. Launching upfield for Flakes. Devo's going to come out of the midfield and actually allow Magnus to take this on a dribble before forcing the challenge. Metza into the corner. Flakes and Devo kind of in the same spot. They need to make a touch here, and Barca will work their way out, but they run right into each other. Roniki is doing the right thing of just sitting at the goal line. Your teammates are tangled up. Just let them sort themselves out and make sure nothing gets by you.
I've been watching Flake's perspective this whole time. He's really just been sitting back in the net, waiting for his chance, and I feel like he's just being patient for this. Clears up ahead. That's what I'm talking about. You can see Flakes, he's a little bit patient in the back, waits for his chance to move forward, and then expects that pass. So I think for Barca, if they're really going to want to make use of all these opportunities, it's just going to come down to that final pass out to Flakes or whoever's on the, the offensive side of things to get that pass directly to him. And if you can just find that accuracy, I think you're set.
Devo trying to work the sidewall. Actually got a big piece of Magnus. Remco will just let Barca try and hang themselves. Handed them the rope. There's the bump. Unfortunately, the follow-up isn't there. Remco really playing the long game, but just didn't have the resources for it to actually pan out. But now he's got a second chance. Metza to Magnus. Metza into the middle. Remco knows it's not worth it. We'll just play the block on the clear. Devo out of his goal. punted upfield for Ronicky. Magnus there to sniff it out. Remco out of the corner. Does he have help? Dished into the middle, and Flakes will cut it down. Halfway done in game 5, and TSM pushing just like game 1. Ball for Remco, left side. Ronicky able to make the block. Flakes trying to work his way from the side wall. Actually, a slow dismount from both players. Means TSM will get their hands on it one more time, and now it's over Metza's head. They'll just try and control the midfield boost to not let Barca out easy.
And it's beautiful speed on the side of TSM's defense to get in front of the clears. I'm noticing that they're really pushing forward, but it's a different TSM that we've seen, I think, all season long, where they're actually a lot quicker up to that ball, to that challenge, and that's why we're seeing more shots come out of TSM. I mean, we're looking at 8 shots on the side of TSM to 1 for Barca.
8 shots translating to 0 goals yet. Magnus, long stretch. That's a follow through. Flakes almost able to slip that one by him. Ronicky up for Devo. Remco wants the block. He just misses. That's to do himself. Does TSM have another trick? As there's the pass off the ceiling. Magnus trying to read the perfect clear. He's trying to just jam that one in off the touch up. His timing was a little off though. And Barca escaped one more time.
At this point, I wish there was a stat to see how long this ball has actually been in front of the net for Barca. As look at the passing from TSM as well. They have all the elements, just finding the final shot.
Devo tip into the middle. Ronicky so close. Fell in front. Did not have the boost. Remco trying to get in Flake's face, and he will finally open the door for Magnus. Flake's under duress. Can't make the block.
It's about time, and look at that back pass from Metzenars. That was beautiful. Then Remco's getting the bump. Magnus got the shot on target. This is what I'm talking about. Beautiful display of teamwork right there from TSM. We had that back pass from Metza, and then Remco going for the bump. Everyone involved, and now they've got 45 seconds. Just need to lock it down and hold your defense strong.
There's one thing TSM has absolutely done all series long. It's been playing great defense. Look at Remco. He's just saying, you want the ball, come and take it. And here come Barca, full force. Actually caught well too far forward. Flakes is going to have to give a lot of ground here. That's a nice job keeping the pressure on Barca. Ronicky, no help. Flakes is too far forward. Devo now denied, and the chance of top 2 slowly slipping away. Here comes the hard push from Barca, but do they punish? Remco not able to sneak that one through. Ronicky,
another buzzer beater.
Metza's there. Flakes needs to keep this alive. Magnus is there to shut it down. How do Barca keep this up? They won't. Remco turns it in, and TSM will win their last game of the season.
It's over. TSM have finally put the nail in the coffin for the series. After all the shots, all the opportunities, their defense has held out for this intensive and very long series so far. It was a tight matchup. Barca almost edged out with a couple of close chances, but they were just getting destroyed with the shooting difference, and they just could not last.
Well, Barca are not done for the day. They have one more matchup against Mouse later, but unfortunately not able to summon the win against TSM. The defense prevails. And despite Flakes getting creative with the card choices, not able to create the opportunities to break down that strong TSM defense, and a well-deserved win from TSM here. Games 1, a lot of great pressure. Games 2 and 3, capitalizing on mistakes. And then the rest of it was just clean defense. And in Game 5, you got the result that Game 1 probably should have been for TSM.
And we also saw Remco stalling out in the end there. You could see he's just waiting in the corner, wasting time. You love to see plays like that. And TSM, you know, a very slow defensive standpoint like usual, but this time it felt a little bit more intentional with their passes, with their setups. They were just waiting for those shots to come in. Finally, they started hitting them with better accuracy, and that's what got them the win.
Excellent win for TSM to close out the series. And Barca, they have one more game later today. But before we get to that match, we got to go play Reciprocity versus Dignitas. And when we come back, it's going to be a banger of a match. You're not going to want to miss it. You're watching the European RLCS.